nightcap. We'll run down the brackets for the people that missed the draw show on Saturday, Vic, but on both sides, the boys and the girls, there's tons of intriguing matchups across the board.
There is. We talked about maybe the boys was maybe not intriguing. We felt like there were, two teams that were, 1A and 1B, and they have been for most of the second half of the season with Muhlenberg County and Owensboro. And then on the girls' side, it may be, the two, first and second place team, the powerhouses, Apollo and Breck. Well, it got really intriguing because both teams drew on the same side of the bracket,
Sure.
which opened up an entire other side of the bracket.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing you look for when you look at the brackets was where was Apollo and Breck going to go on the girls' side and where was Owensboro and Muhlenberg going to go, and then we get the draw, and they're both on the same side of the bracket. That doesn't mean that somebody on the other side can't pull this thing out, but the two favorites will face off in the semifinals, which means for the boys –
they got to win first.
Right.
But
as long as everything holds chalk,
right,
then you'll see the biggest game of the tournament probably Friday night at 7:45. And for the girls, it'll be much the same. Apollo and Breckenridge County, they'll open the tournament, so it'll be the opening game on Saturday if they hold serve. But those are the two biggest games, at least if everything goes
on
chalk.
paper.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look down, and tonight, like I say, opening the tournament, Meade and Owensboro Catholic. Kicking things off at 6 o'clock. In the nightcap, we'll have Grayson, Ohio. And then tomorrow night is when you'll find Owensboro in the opener against Butler County at 6 o'clock, taking on taking on Butler County. And then in the nightcap, you'll have Muhlenberg taking on Hancock County.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I like the way the tournament's drawn up. Like I said, I think it adds a little more intrigue when you get both teams on the top favorites on the same side of the bracket. And let's be honest, I think you could play this tournament boys side 4 times and maybe get 4 different winners coming out of the top bracket.
Oh, yeah, the top bracket's what's the interesting part, and that's where we're going to open tonight. So you get the intrigue right off the bat. I think at first I was a little disappointed, not going to lie, and that's no offense to any of the other teams here, but you always want to see the 2 best teams playing for the championship. You're not going to get that, at least from what we've seen in the regular season. Muhlenberg was the best team in the regular season easily at 16-1, and then you have Owensboro coming in who over the last couple weeks is
maybe be playing the best of anybody the last 2 weeks of the season.
And so you're going to see that. But what it does do is it opens up now a road, a path for a Grayson County and Ohio County, a Meade County, and Owensboro Catholic with some injuries to make a run to the championship. And once you get to that championship game, you can say, well, Muhlenberg or the winner of that Muhlenberg-Owensboro game is going to win the tournament. But you got to go play that championship game, and on a Sunday afternoon, man, anything can happen in one game.
Yeah, and if you look around the state at different regions, this isn't the only place that happens. Like, you've got 2 teams that are probably in the top 5 in the state, in Covcath and St. Henry. St. Henry got upset in their district championship, turned right around and drew Covcath game 1. That opens the 9th region, and the reason I bring that up is because the winner of this region will play the winner of the 9th in the first round of the state tournament. I mean, that's a top 5 matchup in the first game of your region where everybody thought going in that would be, get them on the opposite side of the bracket, and that would be the championship game. It's going to happen in game 1 in the 9th region.
Sure, we're complaining about being on the same side. That's an opener of the regional tournament. And I did read on Bluegrass Preps today, too. I thought it was kind of awesome that Covington Catholic was set to host that game. A lot of the regions are doing this year where the first round they'll have host to kind of break up the crowds or whatnot, and then they're going to do the Final Four at a certain location.
Kind of like they did the All-A.
Yes, and Covington Catholic was set to host that game, but due to the high expectation on the attendance, they decided to move that game over to Northern Kentucky as well, and they're going to go ahead and play that first-round game there at Northern Kentucky to allow more fans. I thought that was pretty good on Covington Catholic's part because they didn't have to do that.
No, they didn't.
They could have played that game in their own gym and probably had a better chance to win it, a team that beat them earlier in the year in St. Henry.
Yeah, and that's going to be – I mean, you're talking about 2 teams right there that are both favorites to win a state title, and they're going to meet in game 1 of the regional tournament. But, yeah, I think it's well done by Covington Catholic. Plus, let's be honest, you're going to sell a lot more tickets than what they could have gotten in their gym.
Absolutely. And I think that's – at the end of the day, I think they wanted to get as many fans as they could here at the Owensboro Sportscenter, at least through the first round of games. You'll have it open to the public, and then on Friday night – they're going to do 2 completely separate sessions. They're going to let the fans in early, 5 o'clock. We won't have live at 5 on Friday. We'll have it between
games.
Is how we'll do live at 5 Friday. So it'll be a little bit different setup on Friday, but you're going to have the opening tip at 5 or coin toss or whatever you want to call it at 5 o'clock here for the semifinal boys. or clear the gym out at the conclusion of that game, bring everybody back in for the nightcap, which will be if everything goes the way we think it'll go. It'd be a big-time ball game here coming up, and it'll be about as big a crowd as you're going to see in the Owensboro Sportscenter since this time last year.
Correct. And I think that's just for the boys' final. I don't think they're doing that for the girls. I think
that's the only session they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's just for the boys' semifinals, and that'll be a big night. I mean, to me, my favorite night of the year of high school basketball is regional semifinal night, and that's and you get those.
Well, normally it is because you get
all four
teams
teams are in here. And then also, some teams that lost, they want to see the rest of the games, and so it's usually a packed house on that semifinal night, and all the bands going. It's going to be a little different, but at least I'm glad they're doing it that way for this one year. I'm not a big fan. That's one of the reasons I like to have it at the Sports Center, so you don't have to have those double sessions. But COVID changes everything.
It does, and as we talked about the boys at length, the girls will start on Wednesday, and it starts with Breckinridge County and Butler County. We'll preview the girls a little closer as we get into those games on Wednesday. But Breck and Butler open the tournament for the girls on Wednesday at 6, followed by Apollo and Ohio County. And
it's an interesting game.
It is, and I think Apollo obviously is coming in as the favorite in that ball game, but Ohio County has upset potential, and we talked to Coach Powers Payne on Saturday. You can check that out on Cromwell's YouTube channel, I do believe, and we has that up. Interviews with a lot of coaches on the draw show on Saturday. But if you missed it, she talked about all the scoring threats kind of that we've talked about on Live at 5 all year. And so it's an interesting first-round game for Apollo.
I think the girls' regional tournament, we've said all along, it's a much deeper tournament than the boys. And so I think there's the chance for upsets throughout that entire tournament. That you may see one. The team you'd think be the favorite be picked off there in the first round.
Sure, and you think Breck's an automatic favorite. They think they just got them penciled in, but they're playing a Butler team with Clark and Taylor that have a 1-2 punch and a pretty good supporting cast. And Jim Pickens even told us last week, we were talking about under the radar.
That was his
team.
pick.
That was his under the radar team.
Yeah.
So that's a very intriguing night one on Wednesday. Then you move it to Thursday. And, man, when I was sitting here doing in between draws, I was kind of ranking the teams that were remaining, kind of seeding the rest of the region, which we'll do for the boys a little bit later on. I'll give you my seedings, Vic. And
okay.
You tell me
where you're wrong.
Because I am wrong. I mean, to be clear,
I've seen your tournament bracket.
I've lost more games in the NCAA tournament than I've won at this point, including my national champions are already gone.
They're gone. Yes, they're out.
Just warm the shears up at this point.
I'll get a hold of Steph. Stephanie will take care of it. Steph Bowling will be warming them up for you.
Oh, I know Steph. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, all right. Well, she's shaving my head soon then. But
I hope she is. I hope it's not mine.
I mean, Gonzaga won today. You're in better shape, far better shape than me. But moving on to Thursday, McLean and Meade. And I couldn't see them. I was writing them down. I was trying to figure out. And those are two teams that I basically had deadlocked right in the middle at like 4 and 5. And I couldn't see them. So McLean and Meade will hook up in that opening game on Thursday. That should be a tremendous ball game.
Oh, I think so too. And so I'm assuming, let's get into it, Apollo or Breck has won on your seating.
Oh, on the girls, I'm not going to do the girls.
You're not going to do the girls. Okay.
I'm doing the boys today.
Gotcha. Okay.
The girls will save for Wednesday.
All right.
But yeah, they're up there at 1. Yeah,
okay.
1 and 2. There's no doubt about that. But McLean and Meade, you texted last night. It's like, man, McLean's a little deeper than I thought they were.
They were.
You started doing some homework on some of these teams. We're getting ready to call their games, and Meade, we know about Meade. We had Coach Hackard on Saturday, and a lot of depth. They got the 8th grader that can shoot the lights out. She had a big time first round performance here last year. Instantly, that game just jumped off the bracket.
It does. And for me, just looking forward to it, for me, so I think Meade County's that under-the-radar team that could jump up and win the whole thing that people don't think about.
Yeah, I think so,
I think that team's dangerous.
And then the nightcap. You had Owensboro Catholic. We know Michael Robertson and how dominant that program has been. Taking on the Grayson County Lady Cougars, Rachel Snyder. They just come off a tremendous run in the 12th District Tournament. And all of a sudden, Vic, you look at today. I was excited about tonight, number one. I think that tonight is the most exciting night of the first round. But that Thursday night is going to be super exciting, with a very good doubleheader.
I think so, too. And I think it's probably 1A and 1B looking at first round, nights. And I've always said, styles make matchups, and that's what make great games. And I think the styles that they play, where Catholics going to shoot a lot of threes, and then, Grayson's going to pound the ball into Rachel Snyder. I just love that matchup, and then who plays better to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, it should be very interesting, and we'll break all those games down more in depth as we get to those days. But throughout the program today, all the players, the prime time players, they're going to be in action on the boys' sacks. We're kicking off the boys' tournament tonight, segment 2, about 5:15, 5:20. We're going to run down the list of players to watch. If you're coming to the Sports Center, if you're listening here on Cromwell, you're going to need to know the guys to look for. And I've got the list to watch in segment 2. Segment 3, I'll seed the region, let Vic tell me why I'm wrong and how he would seed it going forward. And then we'll close things out with previewing the upcoming games from today. But before we get into that, Vic, how much NCAA tournament did you watch this weekend?
I watched enough to kind of know what was going on. It was a busy. We were here Saturday, for in the morning and
got some shots up.
Got some shots up, and then did what we do best: go eat. So then I went home and watched a little bit, and I didn't watch as much Saturday as I did Sunday because also Saturday I was able to find a card game. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, I watched quite a bit over the weekend, and just what I expected has kind of happened. It's been an upside down year. All these teams are playing in Indianapolis, and you can pretty much this is the first year I've ever seen where you can literally take the seedings and just throw them out the window. They mean absolutely nothing this year. Outside of maybe Gonzaga and maybe Baylor. It's been pretty upside down the whole time.
I don't think it has to do with this year. I just think that is – I think there are two teams out there that are head and shoulders above everybody else. I think there's one team out there that's just a lot better than everybody else. And then I think the one thing I've noticed too is the amount of shooting. You watch Syracuse and you watch, Iowa, and you watch Oregon today. You watch UCLA. And the one thing it reminds me of is UK's got a long way to go offensively to get into today's basketball.
You said UCLA on purpose, didn't you?
Well, I did.
Because Johnny Juzang.
Yeah,
Chris Riley, we were sitting there playing cards Saturday night, and Juzang's in there just burying 3 after 3. And the groans just keep coming from Chris because he knows Juzang will let him get away. And Kentucky could really use a shooter like Johnny Juzang.
I tell you what, that hurts because after we used his questions on Friday, once again, I wasn't invited to card night.
Oh, I told you we were having card night.
No, you didn't.
Don't say that on the air.
No, I don't know. I do not remember. Do you remember it, Dave? I don't remember card night being brought up whatsoever, Steve. I am really, once again, hurt.
Man.
I thought Riley's liked me when I was there the other day, and then I don't get asked back by the Rileys.
Yeah, Vic, I need you to not get offended. I never get invited in.
I told both of y'all, and you both said you had plans.
I do not remember that. If I was that bad at your house the first night, Riley, I apologize because I wasn't invited back.
It's like watching CNN right now. You don't ever get the truth. You only get spun facts and just to bury me. Is what it looks like. But I did inform you of card night, I promise you. But that being said,
Riley, you got to start informing me on your own. Don't go through Steve. I don't get all the messages from Steve.
He was upset you weren't there. He thought maybe you didn't like him last time. So.
I thought he didn't like me. I didn't get invited back. Stop going through Steve, Chris.
We'll get it straightened out. I promise. I don't know where that fell through. I did want to highlight there's a big wrestling event. Obviously, the regional wrestling tournament was over at Apollo this weekend, and I talked to Big Matt, our in-house wrestling expert. Man, he was telling me that our region going against down the first region, they are loaded down
Correct.
there. So we had a really rough time. But I will give a shout out to Ohio County's Andrew Pottle, placing second at the 285 division. He's headed to states. He's the only one. Ohio County's Andrew Pottle at the 285 division. You had Cam Baker from Apollo finishing third, so he just missed out on going to state. And then Nick Avery from Owensboro finished fourth in his weight class. I know Cam Baker and Avery both won their class at the district meet, and at the regional meet just came up just a little short. So I want to give those guys a shout out on a tremendous showing.
Yeah, great showing. And speaking of wrestling, Steve, how about the dude from Iowa, Spencer Lee, wins the national title, no ACLs. He's got them both torn.
And then in the post game, he says, I didn't want to make excuses. I think a torn ACL is a valid excuse.
Is that not amazing?
That is amazing. And I met a wrestler that only had one leg at KWC that was out there dominating, and I feel like it's on that level.
They're a different breed.
If you're a wrestler, though, you're just different. You're cut from different cloth.
When I went to Anderson University, ran around with like 7 guys. We were all athletes. It was in our room, and 2 of them are wrestlers. They're a different breed, different. They're built differently.
I couldn't agree more. And those KWC wrestlers I got to meet on Wesleyan Wednesday, always great. And speaking of Wesleyan, before we get to break here, man, Wesleyan signed 2 big-time basketball recruits. A young man from Beechwood is 3,000 career points. going to come in as a high school freshman. So, he'll start from the ground up, but I thought that was a tremendous get. And then they got a kid up from Pike up there in Indianapolis, which tremendous college with tremendous high school with a lot of history. That's a big-time get. I think Coach Cooper hit 2 home runs today in the recruiting trail.
Yeah, I think so, too. Edward Jones is the dude from Indianapolis Pike, and I text Wes Woodward, working up there at the Fox station up there, said the kid can play. And he said if, you look at the tradition out of Indianapolis Pike and the players that they've turned out, you're talking about, Courtney Lee that went down to Western. You're talking about Teague. It was at UK, Jeff Teague. And then you get just another one coming down here to Wesleyan. Yeah, I think it was second-team All-State up there and averaged like 25 points and 9 boards a game.
Those are 2 really good gets. And the way Coach Cooper's building it, there's a great article in the Messenger about rebuilding the tradition at Wesleyan and how, there's a lot more factors in play than maybe the public knows about. I thought it was a really informative article. And, sometimes you just can't go out and match, what Ray Harper did here. I mean, obviously.
But it's got to get back there, it's got to be sooner rather than later. It is the premier program in D2 basketball history. So it's got to happen. It's got to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and I think getting those 2 high school recruits is a great start for recruiting. And I'm curious to see if anybody will return.
I am too.
Obviously, the seniors are all eligible to return. Wyatt Battle will return. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out. I do think they'll probably need to add a transfer or 2.
There's plenty in the portal. That's going to be the thing.
That's kind of the way to go, when you're building a championship-level program at the Division II level.
Yeah, the transfer portal is going to be absolutely filled with players. You're talking about now North Carolina centers, there are teams out there. I think Penn State's got like 7 kids in the portal.
Yeah, and that's the thing is all these people are getting to come back, creating a log jam. So Division II should feast.
Yes.
We'll see how it ends up playing out for Coach Cooper, but I thought that was a great start. If you're building it from the ground up with freshmen, 4-year players, something UK fans know nothing about. 4-year player to play for 4 years, like Tim Duncan did. Remember when he used to do that?
That was decades ago.
Yeah.
It seems like it was a lifetime ago.
It actually was, I think, decades ago. That's kind of where I'm at with my age and all. But we'll go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the primetime players, the region leaders that are going to be on the floor here at the Owensboro Sportscenter this week. Listen to Live at 5 pregame show brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree. We'll be right back.
You come to us broken. You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry. And we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the Contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit Cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or a closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the Contact tab at the top of the page.
Attc Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the High School Game of the Week. Attc Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of Attc Manufacturing.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Welcome back to the Owensboro Sportscenter here live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Poultry. Just like all the third region tournament, I believe that's Morgan Turner over there. I believe it is over there. Meade County legend Morgan Turner in the house. Yeah, sure, get her over here. Let's see what she's been up to. I'm all for adapting on the fly. Now she's like, here comes Dave. Dave's going to come reel me in to live at 5. But nevertheless, we were going to take a look at the region leaders, and until Dave brings our guest over, we'll just go ahead and
we'll go ahead and run something off here.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to jump into the players that are averaging double figures, all in all of them. So we're going to run through these pretty quick, and then we'll get into the top 10. We'll do these before we get Miss Morgan Turner here. How about Caleb Cowan, right outside the top 10, 12.3 points per game. You've got Chandler McCready and Gray Weaver at 12.3 points per game as well. So all those three here at the Sports Center this week averaging 12.3 points per game. You've got Cole Vincent, 11.8 points per game, and I think she will have a tremendous week this week. I've talked about how he'll have a huge ball game at some point. He'll have a huge moment where he lifts Muhlenberg in a big-time spot. You got Cannon Decker, who we'll see here in just a little bit, at 11.6 points per game. Josh Manning at 11.5 points per game for the Ohio County Eagles. You got Jagger Henderson at 11.2 points per game. That'll be a Butler County Bear. Evan Ferry and Ryan Ogle also for Hancock County. And that'll round out the players just outside the top 10. We'll look at the top 10 in just a little bit. We got Morgan Turner here joining us. Hello. It's been a long time.
I know. I've gone through a whole hair dye situation. Nobody knows who I am. It's great.
That's good. You just kind of fly under the radar when you come into these things. But Morgan, how you been?
I've been really good. Yeah, I've been good. I finished basketball last year at Creighton. And then I've been working, adulting.
Wow.
Real life all of a sudden.
I know.
This is man, I really feel old now. I mean, I feel like every year on the Time Hop, it pops up the picture of you and Addie Lynch.
Oh, yeah. Mine too.
And it's always good every time.
Oh, yeah. Brings it right back.
That was the first year that we got to cover basketball on the radio, and it was you guys and Owensboro Catholic, and you guys went on that run, that tremendous run.
Oh, yeah. It was great because we were under 50 when we started that run, too. We didn't even break even yet.
Wow.
And then we ended up winning it all, which was awesome. It was it's my favorite memory of basketball, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's where we got to love Meade County, you know. I think Meade County kind of rrallied around us because we rallied around you guys, and then we ended up going to – they got us media pass, and we thought, well, I guess we made it now. It's all history from there. But talk about your college career a little bit. You know, you go from Meade County, Lipscomb, right, for a little while.
I went to Lipscomb for 3 years, and then I was a graduate transfer at Creighton University, which I loved both of those places. I made great friends the whole way. Creighton was probably my favorite basketball experience just because I loved the coach there so much, and I learned so much. I was actually injured the last year, and they let me stay on with the team and still travel, finish my degree. I loved it.
No, that's great.
You follow them in the NCAA tournament?
I have, I have.
Yeah, they're having a tremendous run. And
they are.
So your brother's Casey, right?
It is.
We've never really put that together for sure, but we just assumed.
You just assumed.
that was the case.
A lot of people say since I dyed my hair that we look just alike, and I see it. I do see it.
my big question is, who's better?
Oh, if you ask him, he says he can whoop me now, but I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
I don't buy it.
I do not buy it.
No, I don't know about
That's
that.
like the old Reggie Miller.
I have myself in horse, and if we're playing horse, but if he's got me in the post, I don't know about it.
It's like the old Reggie Miller, you know, I'm an NBA All-Star, but second best in my family is my sister Cheryl. That's exactly what that is.
He does.
I'll still whoop up on him. I don't care.
He's been tremendous this year. You know, you coming in here tonight and taking on Owensboro Catholic right off the bat. And pretty good opportunity here, I think, for the Waves.
It is. I mean, they who was just out for Owensboro Catholic?
It was
Webb and Griffith. Webb did not play the last game of the regular season. Now, Griffith's been out, but Webb also did not play in that last regular season meeting.
So I think it's going to be a really good game because they kind of pulled away. We did it like up 16, I think, so we ended up beating Catholic by last time, but they were missing 24, I think.
Yeah,
is who
Webb,
it is.
big man.
Yes, and so I think it's going to make it really interesting.
Yeah, I think it should be a tremendous game here tonight. And Casey, how's the mindset going into this one?
Good.
You can speak for him a little bit.
Oh, I can speak. I can speak for him. He's really excited. He's pretty nervous. I feel like this is the first year where he's kind of been in a leadership role, but he likes how they've been playing lately, and he's really confident in how he's been playing. I think he's going to guard Webb. He's been a little stressed about that. He's been watching film this morning.
I was right. On Bluegrass Preps, I was like, look for this Turner-Webb matchup.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, he said he's going to draw the matchup for that one. He's been watching some film on it. He thinks it's going to be a good matchup. That's
awesome. It's good to see you here. I was like, it takes me back a little bit, and then you're talking about graduating and adulting and all that.
I feel old, too, if that makes you feel any better.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You still have your whole life ahead of you. And I'm sure you're thriving. What are you up to these days?
I am like a travel nurse recruiter.
Okay.
And I still live in Omaha, but I'm moving back in August. I have another job in travel nurse recruiting starting in August.
Well, good deal. Congratulations on a tremendous career. That's a great start.
Yeah,
you're right out of the gates. You're already done
so
better
much.
than me, so that's great. Thank you very much. Go enjoy the game, and we appreciate you giving us some time.
I will. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Morgan Turner, Meade County legend. Appreciate you stopping by the table. No, you are. Make no mistake.
No mistake.
I mean, that was a tremendous run they went on. It's one of my favorite times, getting to cover the Lady Waves there when you talk about Meade County. But anyway, Vic, let's jump back into this, see what we're looking at on time here. Let's jump back into this top 10. I didn't want to brush over those young men, but this is the group right here. This is the top 10 players at the 10 spot. A guy that I've loved. He's got great size. He can shoot the basketball over the floor. Grayson County's River Blanton, 12.8 points per game. Love his game, love his size, and I think he's got a great opportunity tomorrow, later on tonight, I should say, taking on Ohio County. That'll be an interesting matchup problem for Ohio County.
Yeah, I mean, I think he, with him, and we'll get to the other one later, those are the guys that are going to have to lead them, and I do think this is a perfect opportunity for them to get a round one win and move on to the second round.
Absolutely. At number 9, you've got Devin Powers, a guy that I think flies under the radar for Hancock County, averaging 13.8 points per game. He can shoot it from the outside, and he has a tough task tomorrow against Muhlenberg County. But I think I'm just telling you.
When
Hancock County's got 4 guys in double figures. They have an opportunity tomorrow night.
And when you say shoot it from outside, he's shooting at 44.7% behind the three-point line. Now, and as a team, that's
decent.
That is. And as a team, they're hitting 5.9. The thing that I definitely lean the other way big time is I think Muhlenberg County in a half-court defense is the best team around in a half-court defense.
Sure, I agree with that.
And I just think with the amount of guards they can put out there and the way they can really pressure the ball and play shooters, it's going to be a tall task for Hancock.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll move it on now to the 8th spot. Solomon Fleener, junior from Butler County, 13.8 points per game. He also averages 7.8 rebounds a game. He's the leading rebounder in the region here at this regional tournament, I should say. When you talk about Solomon Fleener for Butler County, you have a tough task tomorrow against the Devils, but you're going to have to pull them boards tomorrow.
He better have he better get all the misses.
Yeah.
Because the one that you can't do because of their defense is allow Owensboro to get second chance points.
Yeah, and it's pretty much transition. Might as well be a turnover for Owensboro as quick as they get back on you. At the 7th spot, Q Jennings. It's a guy that I think is going to be, to me, is a guy that makes it very difficult for me to pick Grayson, later on, because I just feel like he creates such a matchup problem. The question for me is, does Grayson have anybody on the roster that can defend him? He's averaging 14 points per game, but his contribution with the basketball in his hands is more than 14 points per game.
That will be the big key, is whether or not they can keep him out of the lane where he either scores or he kicks to Manning and some of his other shooters.
Yeah, I think so. At the 6th spot, hey, we just talked about him, Casey Turner. 14.2 points per game, big body kid. We're going to see him here in just a little bit. 6 o'clock tip-off as they take on Owensboro Catholic. She kind of gave it away. We're going to see Jai Webb versus Casey Turner tonight. He's a big body kid that can shoot the basketball. He can post you up, very versatile.
Well, and I think the way you play, you have to play Jai. People that have had success on him have bodied him and pushed him off the blocks. And I think that's what he's going to have to do tonight. And I think some of it comes down to how do the referees let these guys play? Do they let you be physical? Because if you have to try to guard Jai being finesse, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
The way to play him is to be physical. And so hopefully the referees let Turner play.
It works out perfectly because at the 5 spot, you've got Jai Webb.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight.
14.7 points per game, 7 rebounds, and that's the matchup you're going to get in this first-round game, primetime players going head-to-head. And I'll say this. I think they kind of cancel each other out almost to the point where this game's going to come down to the guard play, Vic.
Oh, that would not surprise me one iota. I think a stat to keep an eye on, because if you look at these teams matched up stat for stat, they're pretty close. The big glaring weakness for Meade, they shoot 59.1% from the free throw line, while Calachi shoots 71.1%. And when you get into close games, you can't miss free throws, and Meade has struggled all year long from the charity stripe.
Especially on their home floor. Am I right, third region? That's all I hear. I don't know. Let's move on to that. I was a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing.
I'm sure.
Hope people caught that. Let's move it on to the 4 spot. Keegan Sharp, the junior. And you talk about Sharp, he's sharp. I mean, the dude can fire from anywhere on the floor, and I love steady handling point guards in a regional tournament setting. I'm bullish on Grayson County in this tournament. I think he's the reason why.
Oh, he comes in averaging 14.8. What's really impressive, 87.2 from the foul line, which you want late in games, and then 38.7% from the three-point line, 53 of 137. I like their matchup tonight.
Yeah,
I like that. I like them in that game.
He hit about 23s against Muhlenberg earlier in the season. I mean, when he gets on fire, he's a difference maker. And the 2 of the top 3 are from Owensboro High School. At the 3 spot, you got Amari Robinson-Wells, 17.7 per game. And maybe he gets more air on his jump shot than anybody I've ever seen, maybe outside of Rex Chapman.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And not only that, he's so good, not only getting the ball in transition to the rim and to the rack, but then he also is a sneaky, really good guard rebounder and gets a lot of second chance points that he puts back in, and it's just a tough matchup.
And 1 or 2 times a game, you'll see Coach Drake throw him on the block because he's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. I mean, because
he can out-tough you down there.
No doubt about it.
And moving on to the 2 spot, Vic, it's your guy, Nash Devine, checking in 17.8. And I tell you, if you've watched his season average, it's slowly but steadily gone up and up and up since he's really gotten good at the rim. And there's really no aspect of Nash Devine's game that I see that really needs that much improvement. He is topped out now as a senior. Now it's just time to go take this big one.
Well, and if you know anything about Nash, is the bigger the moment, the better he plays. Like, there are some regular season games. I don't think he played well when Owensboro played him.
Sure.
But if you watched him play in this regional tournament semifinal last year, it was unbelievable.
People are still talking about it.
We are. And, I think he's
Owensboro fans know about it. They're posting about it on the Facebook page.
It'll be interesting. I don't know how you guys are voting. Right now, if I was going to vote, he'd be my player of the year. But I think there's about 3 guys it can go to, and maybe three first-place votes. But I really think this is his tournament to shine and to take Muhlenberg to the regional tournament, to regional championship.
He can take the player of the year here. I think it's still up for grabs right now. He can take it this coming up week. And last, Kenyatta Carbon, sophomore, 19.4 points per game for Owensboro. He's just been everything you need him to be, man. Coach Drake said if it was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant out there, Kenyatta would say he wants more shots.
I've been bullish on Kenyatta since about after 3 weeks last year. And then from that point forward, I thought he was the best player in the region last year. And it was a slow start this year, and he was out with some COVID contract tracing. But once again, he is playing so well, and he's added so much to his game. He's added the three-point jumper. He's added the pull-up jumper. And, I mean, there's just nothing more you can say about him.
He's tough. I mean, the kid finishes through contact. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist-esque at the rim, I feel like that would be my comparison to him when he gets to the rim. And he's better at shooting the 3 than Michael Kidd.
Yeah, he's actually improved his three-point percentage now. He's raised it this year to 36.4%.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been really good over the past 2 or 3 weeks. We'll go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, I'm going to see the reason quickly. We had Morgan Turner on. She's over there going to do color commentary on the Meade broadcast, stepping her game up. I'll see the reason. Vic tells me why I'm wrong. We'll preview both games before we get you out of here in this pregame show brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or a closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the contact tab at the top of the page.
Attc Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. Attc Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of Attc Manufacturing.
Welcome back, Owensboro Sportscenter, live at 5, live on location. Boys, third region tournament as we're about 20 minutes away from tip-off here. Owensboro Catholic, Meade County. I keep saying tip-off. It's Kentucky. It's obviously a coin toss, but we're going to say tip-off because we're almost there. 20 minutes before we start this boys' third region tournament. And we got a short segment 3 here, so let's jump on it. I seeded the region, Vic. And,
okay.
And we're going to see if I'm right or wrong. You can critique me.
I love it.
I'm gonna go down my list of teams, and then when I get done, then you can critique how you would change it. At the 8th spot, I've got Butler County sitting at 5-9. It was a tough regular season in and out of COVID quarantine or whatnot. I think they've got potential, but when you're sitting at 5-9, you've got to show it, right, to believe it, and they've got a really tall task taking on Owensboro in the first round. At the 7th spot, I've got the 11th district runner-up Hancock County Hornets, who's playing really good down the final stretch of the season. I think they're a little different team than they were a month ago when you talk about the Hornets, but it didn't go their way in the district tournament, so I've got them sitting at 7. At 6, I've got these Meade County Green Wave, and I'm not quite sure I love having them at 6. They lost 9 straight in the middle of the regular season. The good news is for the Waves, they've won 4 straight, but I just don't know what I'm getting with them. I know they won the 11th decisively. They left no doubt. They blew out Cloverport, and they blew out Hancock County. They beat Catholic by 15 and without Webb in the regular season finale. but right now I got them at 6. At number 5, I've got Ohio County, and Elijah Decker's back in the fold. I like what that brings to their team. We'll see them a little later versus Grayson. I like Hugh McHenry. I like they can shoot the three-pointer. I love the way they play defense, but I need more points. Ohio County isn't going to go very far scoring 30 points per game. They've got to score more points. I've got them at 5. At 4, I've got Grayson County, and I think I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've got them in the championship game of this third region tournament. I like Grayson County. I like Keegan Sharp. I love their supporting cast. Coach Johnston knows how to win. He won there as a player. Going to get it done as a coach. Big-time situation there. Got him as the 4 seed. And I had to leave Catholic as the 3 seed, even though with injury. And I know Owensboro kind of ran them out of here, but I like the way they looked in that. I know it's going to sound crazy outside of the turnovers, and nobody's going to be able to put the ball pressure on Catholic like Owensboro did. Outside of that, I like the way Catholic looked. I like the way they looked against Davis County, so I left them at 3. I've got Owensboro at 2 because Muhlenberg's been the number 1 team all year long, and really without any doubt 16-1 in the regular season, and they've won 13 straight games. So what do you think about that seeding there? What would you change?
I would really just change one team. You know, I've got Muhlenberg and Owensboro just like that. I know I'm going to leave Catholic at 3, even though I'm not sold on it yet, because I think they could very easily be around 5. But I also think they could be 3. I think they could very easily reach champion. The team I think you got wrong is Meade. I would move Meade up to. I'd have Meade at 4, and then I would have Grayson and Ohio. I just move Meade up in front of them. That's the one, because I think there were some other factors on the 9 straight losses, but they started 5-1. They won the last 4. I like the way they play. I just think they're better than their record shows, and so I would have them at 4, and the rest of them I think you got all right.
Yeah, we looked at all year long, Vic, the team outside the big 3. And without injuries, there's no doubt Catholic belongs in that big 3.
Correct.
But after that, Meade, at the beginning of the year, they were our 4. I mean, they were the team that was right there. Then they faded out, couldn't win a game for weeks. I mean, it felt like that losing streak went on and on forever. But they did close on a 4-game winning streak, and you always want to look to the hot hand as you go into the tournament, and they've got guys, man. I know this team well. Beaven out there at the guard spot, Crump, those guys, they can all play. I mean, it's a pretty good little team here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the guards, Cannon Decker, those guys against this Owensboro Cat. And I said if Casey Turner can cancel out Jai Webb, we'll preview this in a little bit, but I think this game comes down to the guard play, and I lean Meade County on the guards.
There you go.
I mean, at the end of the day, so we're not going to argue over any other seeds other than Meade.
That's the only one. I'd have Meade. I'd bump up Meade 2 spots and leave everybody else. I think there's anybody in the top bracket. I can see a scenario where Catholic plays for the championship. I can see a scenario where Meade does. I can see a scenario where Grayson does. And then I can see a scenario where Ohio County just comes in here and lights it up for 2 nights, and they're in the finals.
I saw Tony Hopper take Apollo to the regional championship every year for about 5 years straight. I mean, with teams he probably had no business taking there. When it comes to regional tournament time, it's not a bad guy to have in your corner. And
no.
That'll be an interest. Any one of those 4 teams could play for a regional title.
I agree with that. I think that's what makes this tournament interesting is that top bracket, I think, is wide open.
100%. We'll go ahead and take one last break here. When we come back, we'll preview both games tonight. Get you set for coin flip here for the boys' third region tournament. You listen to Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, 102.7 The Game.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Attc Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. Attc Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of Attc Manufacturing.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the Contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit Cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the Contact tab at the top of the page.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
You're listening to Live at 5, live from the Owensboro Sportscenter, brought to you by Foreman Watson Poultry. A little pregame action here on Live at 5 today as we're getting set for Owensboro Catholic taking on Meade County. About 10 minutes away from getting a starting lineup pick. I'm sure we'll be getting the national anthem here too, so you just have to bear with us. You'll get the live national anthem every day this week because we're going to be here every single day at the Owensboro Sportscenter.
You're singing, aren't you?
I am. I'm
okay.
Tuning up right
now.
There you go. During the break, so there will be nobody left in the Sports Center by the time I'm done. That's probably how it'll play out. That being said, let's go ahead and start things off in this game right here. Owensboro Catholic and Meade. They closed the regular season against each other. Catholic got handed a loss on the road, 50-34, but they didn't have Webb. There is not going to be a Gray Weaver sighting tonight. He's on the bench. I saw the cast is still on the foot.
Correct.
It looks, from everything I've heard, he's not going to give it a go. It looks like for the rest of the year, this is the Catholic group that you're going to get. And Brian Griffith, of course, with the ACL, won't play it either. But I got a stat for you.
Okay.
Tim Riley, since he's joined the third region in the games in the third region in the tournament, 14-3 overall in those games, and he's 5-0 in regional openers here at the Owensboro Sports Center since coming into the region. He's never lost an opening round game of the third region tournament, and he's never lost a district elimination game ever. So he's always had his team at least in the semifinals. Tonight, Turner and Webb we talked about. I think it comes down to the guards. What do you think? Does Tim Riley continue his streak and go 6-0 here tonight?
I think there's a wild card for Owensboro Catholic, and I thought against Davis County, I thought Braden Mundy really elevated his game and played great. You know, where I think he had like 10 points and like 6 rebounds and 6 or 7 assists. Played great. Owensboro sped him up, him and Parker Gray both, and there was a lot of turnovers. So, to me, it is which Braden Mundy and Parker Gray do we get tonight? Because it's going to be a slower pace game. It's not going to be the Owensboro, 32 minutes of hell. But I'm leaning towards Meade to come out of here and get the win. The thing that scares me is that free throw shooting late in games when you're only shooting 59.1% as a team. That scares me. But I'm going to lead Meade.
I like the guards of Meade. I like Bevan. I like Decker. I like Crump. Those guys to come out here. They're going to be very physical with Owensboro Catholic. I think Meade finds a way in this game.
I thought you said a Catholic earlier.
Man, I like on paper. I like the matchup. Now, no one can account, and Casey Turner's a great athlete and a great player, but no one can account for Jai Webb. I think Jai Webb needs to come out tonight and emphatically have a 20-plus point game for Owensboro Catholic to move on. If he has under 20 in this one, I think Owensboro Catholic's in trouble tonight.
I agree with that. And what I'm interested to see is, people talk about, well, this is the home floor, whatever. It's not third region officials.
That's right.
All right? We have first region officials in the tournament tonight.
So I'm so sick of hearing that.
I know, but here's the thing.
They're down their two best players. If you can't beat them without their two of their best players, then I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't care if you're playing here, you're playing at Disney World, you're playing on the moon.
Right.
They're missing Brian Griffith, and they're missing Gray Weaver. Go win the game and stop making excuses.
Here's the thing. We don't know. I haven't seen the first region officials referee. Catholic does not a deep team. So if they call it tight, it could be trouble for Catholic.
We're about to get the I feel like we're always just waiting for it to drop. We're going to honor the country right now. So just join us for the national anthem. We'll be right back. God bless America, right?
There you go.
We're getting ready to tip this thing off. We're about to close out the show here. Tune over to 92.9 WB. Do a little pregame. Do a little talk quickly. Ohio County, Grayson, who you got?
I'm going to go Grayson. I don't think Ohio County has an answer for River Blanton.
There you go. I think Grayson County in that
I think
one as
Sharp
well.
and Q Jennings kind of cancel each other out. Just don't see an answer for River.
I think Q would need to go offer, like I said about Jai, about 20-plus points to give them a chance. As long as Grayson County hangs on to it, they shoot it well. I've got the Cougars moving on to the third region semifinals. Tune over to WBJS. Download the shout out to Foreman Watson Holtry for third region tournament coverage. We're coming right back with the good one. Catholic and Meade. See you in just a little bit. See you tomorrow, too, here on Live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Attc Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. Attc Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of Attc Manufacturing.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the Contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit Cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or a closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the Contact tab at the top of the page.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman Watson Poultry, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
What's up and welcome to the boys' 3rd Region Tournament Opener, brought to you by Foreman Watson Poultry right here on WVJS. I'm Stephen A. Turner on color commentary tonight, joined by play-by-play extraordinaire Coach Vic Evans.
Steve, I'm really looking for this one. 9-10 Meade versus 16-9 Catholic. But you throw the records out, it's regional tournament, baby.
It's regional tournament time. Everybody goes back to 0-0, and Meade making the long trip up to take on Owensboro Catholic. Meade coming into this contest 9-10, but 7-3 inside 3rd Region tournament play. Where Owensboro Catholic at 16-9, but only 5-4 in 3rd Region tournament play. These two teams hooked up a little over a week ago in a regular season finale that really doesn't matter. Webb didn't play in that ball game, and Meade got the 15-point win on the road. But does that help Meade at all mentally, do you think, in this one? Even though didn't play, do you think they –
Well, it can't hurt.
That helps them?
I don't know if it really helps them, but it cannot hurt, you know.
I think you always want to win.
Yeah, always.
You play – the great Herman Edwards said that. You play to win the game, and tonight, loser goes home, right? It's baseball season for the loser here, whether they have mullets in Meade or not. It's going to be baseball season if they can't get it done. And for Catholic, hey, baseball season ain't looking too bad. One of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, they will be. And I think it like I said, I think for Catholic, the two important guys, we know what Webb has to do. We talked about it in our live at 5. You know, they probably need about a 29-point game, 20-point game from him. But I think the two really important guys will be Parker Gray and Braden Mundy. They got to limit turnovers, and when they do, they've got a good shot.
Absolutely. They turn the ball over far too much in that 9th District Championship game. You go over and look at Meade County coming off a red-hot performance in their 11th District Championship win over Hancock County. And I love the way they're playing coming in. They're a tale of 3 seasons. They've won their 5-1 in their first 6. They lost 9 straight, and then come out and win their last 4, Vic. And you always want to look for the hot hand coming in the regional tournament.
Yeah, and it all goes back. They play a different schedule because of where they're located. They play a lot of fifth 5th region and 6th region teams. So, I think you can throw the regular season out. They're going to need a big game, I think, for Turner. He's got to have a big game. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. And then their guards also have to play well.
Yeah, I look for their guards to have big game in this one. In the regular season matchup, you had Casey Turner and Dylan Abel, the big guy, both with 15 points apiece.
Catholic won the toss. They will receive. They'll start out with Parker Gray, Braden Mundy, Jai Webb, Sam McFarland, Luke Scales. And for Meade, it will be Casey Turner, Cannon Decker, Dylan Abel, Grant Bevan, and Connor Crump.
And we're going to say goodbye to our live stream audience. You can tune in WVJS 92.9. Also download the Owensboro Radio app. You can listen anywhere in the world via the Owensboro Radio app or on